Well, hello, everyone. Hello to my Yoruba family, Ekasan, for those here in Georgia and Odaro, to my Nigerian listeners, where it's 9 p.m. over there, y'all. I was been gone from over there about 3 weeks, so I'm still getting used to what's going on. Um, so y'all just have to stick with. I'm still kind of still over there, but. Hold on tight with me for the next hour. You are listening to Issues and Answers with yours truly, Honorable Chief Mrs. Valencia Stovall Abiola. I know that's a mouthful. Today is March the 16th. Happy Women's Month. And we're excited about, of course, the Georgia Single Parent Day on March the 21st with House Resolution 279. Some people may ask, why do people decide to run for office? You know what? We're going to dive into it today. But you're listening to WCEG Media Enterprises. We are the worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community like we're doing today. You can log on to WCEG Talk Radio, watch us on smart TV, on the Roku cable channel, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now on Fanbase, Blue Sky, and Twitch. Search for WCEG and subscribe, like, connect, and follow us on all the social media platforms. Download our free WCEG mobile app. Say, Alexa, play WCEG Talk Radio. Listen to WCEG on any of our 11 podcast distribution platforms. Last but definitely not least, you all know I have to give this disclaimer, special for today. The topics and opinions are those of the show host, who is myself, and my guests of Issues and Answers, and not of WCEG Media Enterprises, Inc. All right, thank you for your continued support. And I want to start off um, with a brief moment of silence, like I always do, for those who are no longer with us physically, and for those who are facing challenges and need words of encouragement. Mrs. Ruth Brewster, who played a major role in the annual Georgia Single Parent Awards event, we lost her last week, and she's gonna definitely be missed. She's a great pillar in her community. And on yesterday, took time to remember my dear friend who's no longer here with us, High Chief Emmanuel Adeyemo, who was the Oboye of Papalanto in Nigeria. And he was the one how I end up being so involved in going back and forth to Nigeria. So he had a birthday. His birthday would have been yesterday. So we know we must keep the faith and know God doesn't waste our experiences. So my February show, of course, was in the great country of Nigeria. It was a fantastic experience. And my fourth trip, y'all, could you believe fourth trip? What's amazing is I learn or see something new each time that I go. This time I got a chance to visit the American space where Americans living in a foreign country can stay connected to America. It's also a space where foreigners can get to know more about America. So I got an opportunity to meet the director. I even got a chance to speak with and come have a conversation with young Nigerian entrepreneurs who were there. And everyone who knows me know I love to talk. So that right there was the highlight. Besides, of course, going to see my husband and my extended family in Nigeria, but that was the highlight. I never got a chance. I didn't even know that actually existed. So if you're ever in a foreign country, look for the American space. You can go on the U.S. Department of State website and find out where it is. So I enjoyed it, and definitely when I go back, I'll be going back over there again to make sure that I stay involved in that process of what they're doing. Because sometimes you see stuff and you really don't believe that it's really true. So I had to make sure I went to it. And actually, I had been to the building next to it. Never noticed the American flag. Y'all, I don't know. I guess I just was so excited to be in Africa, but I never noticed the American flag till I went this time. I said, there go the flag. It's been up there the whole time. So you'll hear me talking about it a little bit more on my social media platforms. I did have some challenges with my Delta flight. It was canceled for coming back. And ooh, y'all, that's for another post on another day. But of course, I look forward to returning again before the end of this year. Well, a question I asked everyone earlier was, why do people decide to run for office? I don't know. I was wondering all those times that I ran. How do they decide which political party they would choose? That's a whole nother question as well. Do they have to stick with the same party each time? Y'all know I got a little abuse on that one. Well, today's special guest is none other than Tamara Johnson-Shealey. She is Black first. She's a reparationist, a business owner, an author, a founder of the 40 Acres and a Mule Tour in Georgia, down in South Georgia. She also had started the Reparation Sunday movement, the co-founder of the Concern Beauty and Barber Professionals, and their political arm is Politics, Beauty, and Barber. Tamara and I met on the campaign trail, but she's not new to the show. She's been a guest on here before. She's a former candidate for state senate and U.S. Senate. Now she's a candidate for state senate District 14 as a Republican. Y'all don't have to hold your breath. But you can find her at the intersection of politics and beauty. So let's jump right into this conversation. Welcome, candidate Tamara Johnson-Shealey.
Good afternoon, Honorable Stovall. Thank you for having me on your broadcast. Thank you.
Congrats on getting back in the ring again. And and with politics and campaign, you had to put on your boxing gloves because you got to know how to shake, move, or whatever they be saying. You got to float like that butterfly.
I couldn't wait to come over here with you. I'm so excited and I look forward to this conversation. You and I have been talking for a long time, but this is the first time we've ever talked out loud like this. So I'm excited to be here. So thank you again.
You're welcome. So, I'm always standing on the sideline rooting for you for getting back into the ring this time. I didn't join you this time. So I'm the cheerleader. I'll be right behind you, marching. Let's go Tamara. So tell my audience, how did you end up back on this campaign trail and crossing the political line from Democrat to Republican?
I don't want to believe that I wrestled with God, but I wrestled. This was not something that I chose. God had to really take me through in 2025 for me to be this obedient. And there was a little birdie that told me that where I was, that it was an open seat.
I'm the little birdie. I'm the little birdie. Yes.
Yes, a little birdie. You were the little birdie that told me, do you know there's an open seat? I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay. It was very clear to me what God had been pushing me to do in 2025 and forced me to do. And I didn't have a choice. And I wrestled. I did. And then choosing to be not run as a Democrat, I wrestled even there. I wrestled even there. This is not a decision that I made lightly. Valencia, you and I, we always talk about how we have, elected officials, we have people's lives in our hands. So
Yes.
you and I take this is extremely serious work. We don't do this out of convenience or for self-gain. We don't. This is for people and doing the right thing for Georgians and it comes from the heart. It comes from the heart.
Yeah, so when you looked at this particular seat, of course it's a Senate seat, There are only 50, for those who don't know, there are only 56 senators that represent the entire state of Georgia. And it's probably about 390 something thousand people that you represent, maybe more than that, but I think it's about 390,000. So tell us a little bit about your platform, or things that you're going to be focusing on, and how does that tie back into, the work that you've done. I'm going to call it your lifetime work of reparations and legislation that, that's sitting in probably in a committee now. And how does all that tie in together?
Yeah, I am a reparationist. I believe in the repair of Black America, specifically those of us who are descendants of chattel slavery and can trace our lineage back. That's a specific justice claim. We don't have affirmative action anymore, so we have to be very mindful. We won't get policies passed in this country on race anymore. That's over. So we have to move very differently. This country is morphing into something that we don't understand right now. And if we don't play a part in the process, we are totally going to be left behind. The data has shown many years ago that by 2053, Black America will have zero net wealth. That's that's been sped up by COVID, and then what's happening all around us. We are on a race to the bottom, and we can't. Our house is on fire, and we cannot afford to sit back and not be very intentional. So politics is not a place or a space where I think that, again, we don't come to play. I don't play politics. I don't play party politics. And that was your problem and my problem, that we didn't play party politics. We didn't toe the line. We believed in what was right for people. And as a matter of fact, you and I both pretty much run up the middle. We see both,
Okay.
we see this thing very clearly on the left and on the right. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to play party politics. So I took I took political hit after hit after hit. I didn't run not one time, not two times, not three times, not four times. I've run for office 5 times as a Democrat. And to be ignored, to be ostracized, to be beat up inside of this party, and when all I want to do is serve and do the right thing by people. I mean, it's sad. So again, yeah, my focus has been Black America. I'm Black first. I'm Black before I'm Democrat. I'm Black before I'm Republican. I am Black first. And I lead with that. I lead with that. So I'm, being on this side of the aisle and being very intentional about our repair is what I'm going to do. I did it on the left. I'm going to do the same thing on the right. I've had to let it, honestly, let it settle that I'm running as a Republican, because I think that was a shock for a lot of people. But I don't think it was, I think it was a shock that I had done it, but I don't think they were totally surprised.
Right.
Because I've had, election integrity, for example. You asked me about my platform and my agenda. Election integrity. You and I both, along with some other Democrats, came alongside some Republicans, and we addressed the election integrity issues we have here in Georgia. We saw the numbers. We know that those numbers weren't right. We knew something was wrong. So election integrity is a space where I want a fair election. I just want to make it fair,
Yeah.
So election integrity is part of my platform, where I absolutely agree that we need to have, fair elections across the state. Another part of my platform, we talk about immigration. I believe that those of us who are descendants of chattel slavery, our issues have to be addressed first. We are America first too.
Yes.
Our issues have to be addressed first before any immigrant. So don't ignore those of us who are, some of us are indigenous, some of us we're enslaved here, and we're a mix of all of that. So address our issues first. And I also talk about, so let me tell you what is pulling on my heart in this district. So there are 2 historic Black cemeteries in this district, slave cemeteries, where these graves are our ancestors. Like, these are graves that go back to before 1865, some of them, before, when we were truly enslaved. There's 2 historic Black cemeteries in this district. And I would like for us to really address the harm that has been done to us as a people by looking at these historic cemeteries as an opportunity to return these historic cemeteries back to the descendants, but an opportunity around tourism. Our history is should be told just like anybody else's history. So there's an
Mhm.
economic vein with tourism and our history that we need to, that I believe Georgia needs to definitely address. I know that was
Okay.
a lot.
No, you're good. Now, so for people who may not be familiar with Senate District 14, what county and what cities does it entail?
Yeah, it is all of North Fulton, everything north of Atlanta. It is Alpharetta, it is Roswell, it is Johns Creek, and Sandy Springs. So all of North
Okay.
Fulton.
And if I remember correctly, but maybe 4 years ago, that particular seat was not a blue seat, like they say. I think it ended up flipping maybe 2 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I'm not sure. And I know that the demographics in Fulton, just like in Atlanta, has definitely changed with people moving in and out of the district. So we're going to say that you're going to make it past the primary, and that you're going to be the nominee. So what would you, I guess, what how would you be able to bring some of those, I know you talked about your platform, and because during the general election anybody can vote, you don't have to pull a particular ballot as far as a party ballot during that time.
Mhm.
So what are some of the things that you'll be saying to those who are in the middle, those independents? And unfortunately, the independents are not recognized as a particular party here in Georgia, which is unfortunate. You're either forced to be a Republican or a Democrat.
Mhm.
When a lot of times, especially those like us, don't fall in either one of those categories.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the ways you'll be able to corral, the Republicans, and also those are independents and those Democrats, that are looking at what you're saying and believing that you're going to be the truth, when it comes down to being for what you say you're going to do and not just talking.
Yeah, you and I both are servant leaders. And we love community. I love community. I love people. For those of you that don't know, I come from the beauty and barber industry. I did services myself for 18 years, owned my own little salon for 10 years. And I love people. I love interacting with people. I love being around people. I love children. I love these little young people, this little generation of these techies, these kids now that are just so advanced in their thinking. I love people. So I look forward to being in this district. I look forward to serving this community. And again, I don't think it's not, to me, it's not, this isn't hard. The hard part was the being a part of the party and the party politics.
Mhm.
This part of it is so easy and so natural for me. Like, and as it is for you, like it's natural for us to listen to our constituents, want to help them. It's so natural. So I'm just going to naturally be who I am. I'm going to be out in the community. I'm going to be everywhere and anywhere. And I'm going to serve the people. I'm going to do whatever they ask me to do under that gold dome that benefits all of us. So it's
Okay.
not hard. It's, to me, this is just, again, my fight was the party politics. It's the back and forth. I actually been watching session, just to make sure that I stay abreast of all the issues and where we are right here in Georgia. I watch it. And to watch the back and forth, it's like a zero-sum game. It's like winners and losers when we're all going to lose here in Georgia when we don't work together. So reaching across the aisle is something that's, for you and I both,
Mhm.
it's easy. You did it when you were in the legislature. You reached across the aisle. You worked with the other side and you got things done. I intend to be just like you. I appreciate your friendship and your mentorship, and because I want to be just like you when I grow up.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't want you to get beat up like I did, but hey,
I've already gotten beat up.
for doing what you believe is is the right thing. And that's what we need. We need elected officials who are not going to be afraid of which was considered to be backlash. When I look at um, the representative that ran for Senate in Texas, and how everybody, hey, yeah, go, go, you should run. And then the party ends up, and this is my own opinion, putting someone else in the race to pull those votes from her uh, because she could not be, they couldn't control her on what she wanted to say and things that she was going to do. And that's what happens in politics when you're a part of a party that wants to control your tongue and what you do and how you say it. And as soon as you buck against them and say, no, I'm for the people, then you start seeing the two face. I call it, it's a two face like on that Batman movie where they had one side, the man called Two Face on the corn or something, and one burnt up or got real, real bad, and then the other side was clear. So he'll turn like this, so you know it's a clear. But when you turn like that, that's the evil side. And that's how it is, in politics, especially in this party politics. You being able to stand for what, you didn't back away, say, okay, I'm running, I'm gonna put reparations up on the table, which that's what sometimes, candidates do. You said, no, I'm going in. So y'all know, be very clear on what my platform is, and it's no shuckling and jiving, but it's something to benefit the entire state. And can you kind of share with us how it benefits the entire state? We talked about the economics part of it. And the reason y'all just want to take this time, the reason I'm not focusing so much on her running as a Republican or whether she ran as a Democrat, because all of that really at the end of the day to me does not matter. What matters is the person that you elect, are they going to be fighting for what you think what is best for your community?
Mhm.
And you don't have to have on the affiliation to do that. You can do what's right in your heart. So what are some other things that economics beyond the economics part of it that would be beneficial to the entire state of Georgia if you're elected?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to what you said about policy, about the party politics real quick, because it is about the policy, number one. Number one, I think so many of us get caught up in the person and the party politics. I had a lady in the store the other day. She asked me, she was like, I told her that I was running. She was like, "Oh yeah, you run as a Democrat?" I said, "No," and I could just see her face. It's like she melted. And I felt like I broke her heart in that moment saying, "No, I'm running as a Republican." I said, but then I had to remind her she was black. I was like, "I'm black first." It's like I had to come back and like that to me, I was like I had to shake her out of it. Like because she literally melted in front of me because she thought
Mm.
because I broke her heart that I wasn't a Democrat. So I want us to mature in our politics. I want to see us be more mature where we're looking at policy. What in the world, what is this person standing for? What is this person going to fight for? Look at the policy, then look at the person. Can this person actually carry it? Can they do it? Can they really do it? Let's not play party politics anymore. It's We are so beyond that as a nation. When we're looking at what's happening globally, I would think we should be competing globally. We should be trying to be, okay, America, make America great. Okay, we're gonna make America great. That means we all work together to make America great. We make it great right here in Georgia, and we make it great as a nation. So I just want us to get beyond that. And I'm just hopeful that these kind of conversations will help us do it. But when it comes to policy, I'm there to, again, I'm gonna reach across the aisle. I don't want to overcommit. I don't want to overcommit. I want to go down there and I want to do as much as I can. It's a 2-year seat, right?
Mhm.
At some point, I'm gonna be a grandmother. My children gonna bring me some grandkids. I want a garden. I don't want to be in this for the rest of my life. I've given it 10 years of running already. this is not the rest of my life. I'm going to do it, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing it. So I'm going to go down there and do what I can in the time that I have. Again, there's a reason why we have term limits, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, because these people shouldn't go down there and live there. Some people, I'm watching people in the under that gold dome who are should have they've aged out. They know they've gotten too old to be down there. They know they're not as effective as they used to be. I'm watching them taking pictures, shaking hands, and kissing babies. That's what they do to make people think they're still doing work, and they're not. So I don't want to be that. I'm still young enough now. I got a lot of good energy. I'm going to give it what I got, and my goal again is to serve and do the best I can in the time that I'm graced with.
Yeah, and that's key. You're right. Some of them, one of the seats up here in Atlanta, the senator has been in there too long, 30 something years. And you got a changing demographic, or whatever. And so, it calls for new leadership, other people that better come in. This is how I see it, and this is across the board. It's the onus on leaders to find individuals that they can mentor when they're in those elected seats so that they don't have to stay there forever. And if you've done a good job as a leader and able to mentor not just one, maybe several other people that kind of see what you've done and want to do something similar, but add something to it, add their own flavor to it. And I think that that's what's missing. And it's on the city level, which are the city, county, the local level, it's on the state level, and it's on the federal level.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, like you have someone that may have been in there that length of time, and people may feel that nobody else can do it. But that's because they haven't had anybody else that they've shown to the public. This is somebody else I want to be able to, one day pass the baton to that's going to be as effective as I've been. Give them an opportunity. And I think that we need to do more of that on all levels, with that. So you're right. And even when I was elected, there was a bill that came up for term limits on the federal level, and I agreed with it that it should be term limits. And even on the state level, there should be term limits. You can have people that's in there that's institutionalized, that have the knowledge, but they need to pass it on. Don't keep it and then you pass away with it. So guess what? It didn't do any good anyway because you didn't pass it on.
Mhm.
So I'm excited about your race and watching you maneuver through crossing that line. And even when I ran, of course, for state what it was Congress, and I ran as an independent. And you're right. The first thing they think because they look at you as black is that you got to be a part of the Democratic Party.
Mhm.
And I said no, I'm running as an independent. What? Well, I just vote Democrat. Well, that's unfortunate for you because look what you got. You keep voting the same way and you keep complaining, but it's because you're putting the same people in that's a part of the same party. And one thing I did learn, one thing I want to touch on before I let you give your closing remarks, is that they may look at this as the party of the president, U.S. president. But then we could also flip the script and say, when the other president that was a part of the other party, Democrat Party, was in there and didn't want to give up the seat and stayed in there as long as they did, people were complaining about that as well. And I just think that individually, as elected officials, we have to do what's right overall. Take the party out of it. We may be a member of a party, but we need to do what's right when it comes down to the people. What's not going to harm the people but help them? What's going to help uplift them? What programs can we implement? What programs can we make sure funding goes to make sure that it's the people that are at the bottom are able to rise, the people in the middle are able to rise, and the people at the top, however more further they can rise. So everybody needs to benefit, not just one set of group
Mhm.
of people. So I just wanted to throw that in because a lot of times it's easy for us to point the finger and say this particular party is they terrible. Well, guess what? The other party terrible too. Both the parties terrible, if you ask me. But in this society, in the world we live in the United States, you have to choose a party.
Mhm.
And so that's the choice that you made, was you chose decide to choose this party to see what kind of traction to be able to get for changes that you want to see in our communities. So, Miss Tamara, thank you for your courage and keeping me educated on what it really means to have reparations for descendants of chattel slavery. And if I know you're hosting a weekly town hall meeting, that you're going to be able to go into more details about what you're doing, how people can volunteer if they want to step on out past that little line and cross the line and
Mhm.
step on up and really get to know who you are as a candidate. How can they contact you about your campaign and if they want to know more about the reparations movement?
Yes, you can go to my website. My campaign website is Tamara, Tamara, for Senate, for Senate.com. And I'll be hosting every Monday, 7 p.m. I'm going to host virtual town hall meetings because this is my opportunity to listen and learn, and the constituents get to know me. We get to know each other, and we build community. So I'm gonna do my virtual town halls every Monday at 7 p.m. So I am determined. I'm committed. I'm here to serve, and it's again, it's in my heart. And go back to this party. This was the party of Lincoln. Let's dig a little
Right.
deeper. You know, Black people, we had strong communities. We know how to build. We know how to, we're survivors. This is nothing to be afraid of. We should have Black people who are Black first on both sides of the aisle. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad to be in the number, and I'm glad that, again, 2026, I'm praying that this is the race that take us to over the finish line.
All right. Well, y'all, let's give Tamara a round of applause. We really appreciate her joining us, and we're gonna be checking back in on her as the primary progresses. Don't forget that May the 19th is the primary, and I believe early voting starts April the 27th, I believe, if I either the 27th or the 24th. But guess what, y'all? Make sure you always hear me talk about check your voting record so you'll know where to go and vote for early voting. All precincts are usually not open, only certain ones. So go to mvp.sos.ga.gov and check your voter status. Make sure you're still registered, because if you haven't voted in a while, you may have been removed or you may have been accidentally removed. So you don't want to wait till the last minute and you go to the precinct and then your name is not there on the list. And then you have to go through some extra stuff. So make sure you go out and vote and be educated about your vote. Don't just give your vote to any party just because that's the party that your parents, your grandparents, and whoever else have always voted with. Select the party that's going to best do select for you when it comes down to the individual in that party, because that's what the party is made up of, individuals. So thank you so very much, Tamara. And if you want to hang out with us, you can. I'm going to go into my announcements that I have. I only have a few more minutes left on here, but thank you again so very much. And again, give them that website again.
Thank you again for having me. Tamara, Tamara, for Senate.com. Thank you again. I'll see you later. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So we're excited that Tamara was able to join us. Being able to see and hear from a individual that decided to run as a Republican. That didn't change who she was or who she is. Um, she's still the same person. She just decided to run up on another party ticket. Hey, nothing wrong with that. All right, so next, I want to talk to you all about the seventh annual Georgia Single Parent Legacy Builders Recognition and Awards event. It's a 2-day event, y'all. We've been holding this since our seventh year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm excited. I appreciate Beverly Brewster, who is the founder of the National Leadership Group, Inc., and two other wonderful ladies who pulled me in 7 years ago. Well, probably about 9 years ago, because it took about a year for the bill to pass. That's Miss Lenora Daniel and Miss Tom Macbeth. And if you all have been involved with anything we're doing with the Georgia Single Parent, you have gotten a chance to meet those three wonderful ladies. And we're excited about this, our seventh year of us doing this. So we're gonna be down at the state capitol, March the 20th, this Friday, y'all, at from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's no cost to come down to the capitol, and you can still register by going to the GASingleparent.org, www.GASingleparent.org, and I put it in the comment section to register. And it's a few things you need to know before you go. You click on that as well. Then on Saturday, we're going to have our huge banquet where we actually give out certificates, awards. We will recognize if there are any former single parents in the audience and current single parents who may not have been recognized. But how the process goes is that every year we open up a nomination time, a portal for anybody to nominate any person that lives in the state of Georgia who's a single parent, male or female, who's doing an outstanding job raising his or her children. And so this is a way we acknowledge them. So back in 2017, yeah, 2017, I introduced, authored the bill, House Resolution 279, that designates March the 21st of every year as Single Parent Day, Georgia Single Parent Day. And so, so it's a holiday, it's official. It was signed into law by Governor Deal on May 2, 2018. And so what we're doing is keeping the bill alive. And of course, we still get people that say, I didn't know anything about a single parent day, but now you know, so we need you to spread the word. So on that Saturday, at 1:30, we're going to be at the Atlanta area airport Marriott. I'm sorry, but the tickets have closed. But if you really, really want to come, you can inbox me and I see what we could do about purchasing the ticket. I'm not giving the ticket away free, but you have to purchase it to help the offset of the cost. But we're gonna recognize there are 29 people that were nominated, representing 18 cities across the state of Georgia, y'all, 18 cities. And they were nominated in the category of public service, medical and health, arts and entertainment, ownership, community service, faith-based, and education. We also have one special award. We have three special awards. One is the Ruth Endurance Award. And you heard me earlier mention about Mrs. Brewster passing away, but before when she was still alive, we actually had this award dedicated to her, and it's the Endurance Award. And the Brewster family selects who that awardee would be among the other nominees names are sent in. And then we have two other special awards, the Overcomer Founders Award, which are awards that I decide who those single parent awardees are going to be. And so we're excited. Yeah, we're just excited that we're going to get a chance to see smiling faces. It's always good to see smiling faces. Some of these single parents, it's their first time ever receiving an award or recognition. We want to keep them motivated, y'all. It's not easy raising children, even in a two-parent home, let alone being one single parent and having to make all these decisions for your child and making sure that they are going to be productive citizens. So we're not promoting single parent, but we're acknowledging those who are become single parents, and sometimes it's not out of choice. Things happen, and you become a single parent. Things happen. Grandparents end up having to raise their grandchildren, and they may be a single parent. Things happen. Somebody may get a divorce. Things happen. Someone may pass away and they become a widow or widower. So things happen in life. And so, but that does not mean we cannot acknowledge our wonderful, great single parents. So I'm going to take this time to read off the names of our single parents. Rakia Harris out of Fayetteville, the public service. Monica Moore out of McDonald for public service. Yanni Dansby out of Jonesboro for medical and health. Elora Hamilton out of Atlanta with South Fulton. Arts and Entertainment, Ardell Tillman, business owner out of Conyers, Bridget Spice, community service out of Fayetteville, Melvina Clark, community service out of Morrow, Melba Furlow, education category out of College Park, Bayonne White, we call her B, faith-based out of Peachtree City. And then for the Ruth Brewster Endurance Award, Sachita McNair out of Atlanta. And the two Overcomer Founder awardees, Libra Hicks out of Beaufort and Robert Jordan out of Rincon, which is down near Savannah. And for the two Overcomer awards, those are the ones that I selected. And Libra Hicks is a mother of, I believe, 2 or 3 special needs students. So you all know that by itself is just being able to be an overcomer. But she also has about 3 businesses. I know she is real big on fitness, and you can catch her on some of her Instagrams. I follow on Instagrams as well. And so I looked at it and said that, she'd be deserving of this Overcomer Founders Award. So congratulations, Libra Hicks. And the other person was Robert Jordan. And so I met Robert through marriage, but he lives down in Savannah, and he became a single father through circumstances that were out of his control. But he had 3 sons that he's adopted. His adopted sons. So that's an overcomer. For you to take on someone else's children and raise them just like they're your own, that's an overcomer. So congratulations, Robert, for that award. And we're excited for everyone. Now, our other honorees are Heather Scalzette, education out of Atlanta, Jessica Long, community service out of East Point, Brianna Maddox, faith-based out of Conley. We have Christina McCullough, public service out of Hampton, Pameka McGee, community service out of Duluth, Shanteria Williams, business owner out of Jonesboro, Keith Blount, community service out of Jasmine Phillips, public service out of Decatur, Shakishi Johnson, business owner out of College Park, Courtney Dismuke, community service out of Douglasville, Tila Swanigan, community service out of College Park, Tanisha Rollins, community service out of College Park, Pierce Akers, medical and health, Jonesboro, Misty West, education category out of Douglasville, Christy Cook, public service out of Atlanta. And yes, that's my daughter, Christy Cook. She deserved her award this year. She like, Mama, I'll be doing a lot of work. So anyway, I'm not gonna put on blast. Okay, Janie Mosley, community service out of Douglasville. And Paulette Reed, a business owner, Union City. I'm excited. We're really excited to welcome everybody down to the state capitol. If you're able to come, please join us down at the state capitol, for a day of fun. We'll have some little light refreshment, but we're not trying to fill you up, but we will. But I wanted to also thank our partners and our sponsors. They're very important for helping to make sure that this event is okay, I need to repeat that. Primary voting date. Primary voting date is May the 19th. But these individuals and companies are helping to make for us to be able to put on this great event. So our legislative partners are State Representative Kim Schofield, District 63, State Representative Regina Lewis Ward, District 115. So we really thank them because for the past years since I've left, they've taken up the mantle to make sure that we're able to still do the recognition down at the state capitol. And also appreciate the Georgia Single Parent Coalition, all the committee members, the planning committee members. It's not easy putting on an event, y'all. And so it takes a lot of commitment of time. And all us are volunteers. Nobody's on the payroll getting paid anything. So our village builder, which is our highest sponsorship, is legally rooted law. And we appreciate our legally rooted law. And our Beacon of Hope 1 is our next level, and then Stanley and Clementine Rivers Foundation. And Stanley and Clementine Rivers Foundation have been our one of our sponsors for several years. This year, we have Fathers Incorporated, one of our newest sponsors. We appreciate them. And Honorable Larry Johnson, who was the former DeKalb County Commissioner, is one of our Beacon of Hope 1 sponsors. Our Beacon of Hope 2 are Redefined Ed Atlanta. Thank you them for another year of sponsorship. AmeriGroup Real Solution is another repeat sponsor. And Mabra Law is one. I appreciate Ronnie Mabra. He was my former colleague in the House of Representatives. He has his law firm at personal injury law firm. So make sure y'all been seeing those signs of it. Just have Mabra Law on. It's a plain sign, but it says Mabra Law. So make sure y'all contact Ronnie Mabra's law firm if you're in an accident or you have an injury at work or something like that. Our other Beacon of Hope too is Read to Exceed. They're one of our new sponsors for this year. I also want to give a special thanks to the Atlanta Airport Marriott, their promotions, Cameron Photography, Melodies of the Mind is our DJ. He's been with us probably for all 7 years. And Taylor C Photography LLC, she's joining us this year. Walter Fletcher, Real Parents, has been there since the beginning. And we have B&L Band. Y'all, my son Lovett has a band, and they're going to be performing at the event this year. So y'all come on out for some good entertainment. Well, unless you got a ticket. And also, we have the International Church Ushers of Georgia. They've been a long-time supporter. The Bethlehem Church has been a supporter. And our legislative patrons. So these are individuals who actually sponsor their constituents' ticket to the banquet and for the 2-day event. And we really appreciate them. We sent it out to over probably 30 legislators, and we only had these 4 that stepped up and said, hey, yeah, I want to support. And that's Representative Arlene Beckles, Representative L. Marty Harley, Representative Robert Flournoy, Representative Lydia Glaze. Now, Representative Beckles, Flournoy, and Glaze actually nominated constituent of theirs for an award. So we really appreciate them for being able to do that. So thank you all, and to Georgia Youth Career Center, one of the other lead participants with what we're doing. And so we're just excited overall about it. So remember, March the 21st, if you know any single parent, thank them. Thank a single parent on that day because it's not easy. We want to also give special recognition to Atlanta Public Schools for doing actually asking their schools for the children of the students to recognize their single parent and writing an essay about why their single parent is special. So we appreciate Atlanta Public Schools participation again this year. All right, moving on, y'all. I'm almost at time in. You know, I could talk, but I did have to make sure every year I cut out time for the Georgia Single Parent event and the awards. It's very, very special to me, a project that I started and continue to participate even after leaving office. So you don't have to have a tag or a special position in order to do what's right in your community. Whatever you feel in your heart, like you heard Tamara talk about earlier, then that's what you do. You do what you know is right. So I've also been participating with Ed Connect organization, nonprofit, on doing advocacy trainings. I made this announcement last month, but we're coming almost to a close of it. But I'm excited because I was able to complete 3 workshops with 9th and 10th at Drew High School in Clayton County. Appreciate Miss Phillips and Mr. Pearson for and Principal Benjamin for allowing me to be able to come in and talk to the students about advocacy, how to identify their elected officials, how they are actually taxpayers. Did y'all know that most of the kids didn't even know they're taxpayers? Yes, I told them if they purchase anything and taxes are collected, they are a taxpayer. And we also talked, we went to mock hearing. We came up with a topic and took them through the process of how a bill becomes law, how it has to go through the committee, and how you have to get your colleagues to agree with you so you can get at least a majority in order for that bill to make it to the governor's desk. And so we went through that process. It was exciting. And also, the understand how taxes are collected. So I went over the e-splosh, the splosh, the laws, and so that they understand every time that sales tax is collected, how it's split up. How 4% goes state of Georgia automatically. And then depends on where you live in, it's 8%, Atlanta is 8%. So it's split up between the cities, the counties, the school system, and MARTA. And I think the CAB also collects, has a MARTA tax as well. And it's important for them to know that. So I even showed them an example of the new Jordans that are the retro 5 or 5 retro gray white or gray something tennis shoe. And I put up a price of what that is and had them to calculate what the 8% is and showed them that every time someone purchased this particular shoe in the county, a percentage, that percentage for sales tax goes to the government. And that money is used for buildings, repairs, roads improvement, all kind of things that money is used for that they actually see that's going on right now. So that's their tax dollars at work. And I believe that it's important for our young people to understand how the government works at a young age. And I think that because civics is not stressed enough in our traditional public schools, that we end up having students that become adults who become lackadaisical when it comes to voting and understanding their power of voting and understanding how the voting process works. Everybody knows how to complain, but who really knows how to go and find solutions? I also showed them how um, the My Voter page, how does it work when you're a voter, how you go on and look up your elected officials. I also showed them if you're not a voter, how to be able to go to openstates.org to be able to put in your address and find your state and federal elected officials. You know, there was 166 or 163 students that participated. And also overall in the training workshops, we had about 60 adults. So we're making an impact, and now I'm doing parent advisory and consultation. So if anyone is a parent and they want to get some advice on how to handle a situation, you can now email or text your concern, and that's how we will respond. So you don't have to make an appointment to talk to me or any of the other experts about it. And also, if you're interested in joining the Ed Connect Clayton County Task Force, where you be working on real solutions, definitely reach out as well. So you can send me a direct message on Facebook, Instagram, whatever the platform is, if you're interested. I want to touch briefly. I have about 4 minutes left. House Bill 942 was a very controversial bill, and it would have benefited. It could benefit Clayton County, and it was introduced by Representative Rhonda Burno, Sandra Scott, Eric Bell, Robert Flournoy. And this particular bill, many of you all have heard me over the years talk about the jet fuel tax, how the county was not able to collect the sales tax from the jet fuel that is utilized in the part of the county, part of the airport that sits on Clayton County dirt. So because of the FAA ruling, the FAA ruling said Clayton County, you all have to find another way to be able to collect the money that's due. Where there is an 80-year, almost over 80-something year rule that says that if you are a jurisdiction, you can collect property taxes for any property that's located in your jurisdiction. So the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, 80% of it sits in Clayton County's jurisdiction. It's ran, of course, operated by Atlanta, but that's what that Bill 942 was all about, was being able to collect the money from as a pass-through. So it was not coming out of City of Atlanta's coffers. There was a group down at the Capitol protesting, saying it was gonna cause jobs to lose jobs. The bond rating was gonna go down for the city, and some other stuff. Like they always fabricate information instead of doing what's right. Instead of sitting down and talking and negotiating. This didn't just happen, y'all. This has been going on for over 10 years. This conversation. So anyway, the bill is still at the state capitol. And if you want to know more information about the bill and talk with Representative Burno, you can contact her office at Rhonda, RHONDA Burno, BURNOUGH at house.ga.gov. Or you can just Google her name and get the information and join her newsletter. Her newsletter she sent out this week actually detailed more information about House Bill 942. And it's not a Clayton versus Atlanta or Atlanta versus Clayton. It's about doing what's right for the people that need that support and need that tax base. Just like any other city or county needs their tax, and education needs their tax base. All right. So guess what? The Community Champions is a program part of Hand, Heart, and Soul Project. And so they continue, they meet and they try to keep the recipients of SNAP and decision makers, along with community leaders, engaged with each other with finding solutions on how to better have access to food, how to better look at policies and make changes in policies and physical activity. So they meet monthly on the second Tuesday. And if you want information about that, you can contact Tasha, TASHA, at handheartsoulproject.org. And she'll be glad to send you a flyer so you can attend. Policy and People virtual screening. So you all, I'll be hosting a virtual screening on this Thursday, March the 19th at 6 p.m. I will have some panelists on there talking about how they witness food not being accessible and what it really takes to be able to find solutions. We would like to make policy make sense for and with our community. So it's going to be on this Thursday. You can follow me on my social media handles. And I also put it in the comment section as far as how you can register. It's a free event and it's going to be online. We're going to actually watch the documentary. It's a very short documentary, but it's very touching. It talks about a struggle that a local learning center had when they want to start actual food. They call it Little Lions food stand right on their own property, and how the local city was against it, and how they had to bring in those who were beneficial from it to be able to come in and talk to the city government in order to get changes made. So that's what we'll be doing on this Thursday. All right, y'all. Time has called me and called us. All good things must come to an end. We will be back here on Monday, April the 20th at 4 p.m. for another interesting episode. We may have a special guest and we may have a surprise like we had today. Surprise! The goal of Issues and Answers with Honorable Stovall Abiola is to educate you on those things you might not think about unless you're in a situation to be concerned. Thank you all so very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Probably try to stay warm, and hopefully our weather, spring weather, will blossom out to what we really know it to be. And until then, the next time in next month, you all take care of yourselves. Bye.